and now an interview with Ophir Falk, the foreign policy advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Alex, you had the chance to sit with him earlier. Let's hear what he had to say.
Hi, Ophir. Welcome to the program. You know, we've seen that the Houthis have been attacking at ships, been sending cruise missiles, ballistic missiles into Israel. The United States apparently has asked Israel to stay out of it. Israel is probably looking for the United States to do more. Can you tell me a little bit more about the considerations?
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me. We obviously do not want a second or third front, but we are fully prepared for anything that comes our way. The IDF is very on the ball right now. We can see whatever the Houthi are doing, and we'll take care of it.
We've seen a change in strategy inside Gaza, whereas previously the IDF was killing as many Hamas operatives as possible. Now we've seen truckloads of militants being rounded up, stripped down to their underwear with their hands tied behind their backs. Is this a change in strategy, and what's the purpose?
The IDF strategy and the directive that was given by Netanyahu's war cabinet is to destroy Hamas and to free our hostages. Nothing has changed. The IDF is fully focused, and the war cabinet is fully focused on destroying Hamas and freeing our hostages. Those two goals are not mutually exclusive. To the contrary, they actually complement one another. The stronger the IDF hits Hamas, the better the probability, or the higher the probability of freeing our hostages.
Is rounding up of these Hamas operatives, is that part of the strategy of potentially trying to arrange a hostage exchange?
Well, the IDF, as you know, clearly works in complete compliance with international law. And any Hamas operative terrorist that surrenders and puts up his hands, we'll take him in. We act in complete compliance with international law. And actually, we urge these people to surrender, because we are going to destroy Hamas. And if they want to save their lives, they should raise their hands.
It seems like there's a difference of opinion on how long the war could or should take. Reports were that in a recent meeting with the war cabinet, Antony Blinken told Israel that it may not have enough credit to extend the fighting for as long as the IDF thinks it might be needed. It's been reported that it could be as many as 8 weeks in Gaza. Are you in lockstep with the U.S. administration on the length of the war?
We've received a lot of support, great support from the United States, bipartisan support, and great support from the President of the United States from day one. He's in almost daily contact with our Prime Minister, with Prime Minister Netanyahu. We have a common goal and a common interest of destroying Hamas. That's clear. And we'll do, and the IDF will do whatever it takes to destroy Hamas. That's also clear. And we feel absolutely no pressure. We're going to destroy Hamas.
Hamas is probably the smaller of Iranian terror proxies on Israel's border. Hezbollah has fired at least 1,000 times, including mortars, drones, anti-tank precision-guided missiles at Israeli positions, both civilian and military. The IDF seems to have stepped up its retaliations. What's the likelihood that as the fighting in the south in Gaza begins to wind down, that we could see the ramping up of hostilities inside southern Lebanon?
Well, the Prime Minister made it very clear that although we are not interested in a second front, we're fully prepared for a second front. Dozens of Hezbollah terrorists have been taken out by the IDF. The Hezbollah has been hit hard since the outset, since they have fired at our positions. And although we don't want a second front, we're fully prepared. Nasrallah would be wise not to open a second front. If he does do that unfortunate thing, then Lebanon may very well look like Gaza.
It's been reported that Netanyahu hurriedly left a war cabinet meeting to take a phone call from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Can you tell me anything about that call?
Well, actually, I can't tell you anything about that call, but I can tell you it's not the first call. It's not the first time that the Prime Minister has clarified that we are going to destroy Hamas, and that's the war cabinet directive. We seek to minimize, as you know, we seek to minimize civilian casualties. That's our strategy. That's Israel's strategy. It always has been. Not only because it's the right thing to do, because it's the effective thing to do. On the other hand, Hamas, as you know, Alex, their strategy is they seek to maximize civilian casualties, both Israeli civilians and Palestinian civilians. They hide behind their civilians. They hide below their civilians. Why do they seek to maximize? One is because they're a sick, genocidal terrorist organization, but perhaps more importantly, because they think it's effective. They think if it's an effective propaganda tool to coerce Israel into a ceasefire. That's not going to happen. We're going to destroy Hamas. The IDF is destroying Hamas right now as we speak. And this is the beginning of the end of Hamas.
Ophir, you probably spend more time than anybody with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's probably under more pressure than any man in the world right now. Can you tell me a little bit about his spirit, how he's doing, and how he's operating at this time?
Without getting into too much details, Prime Minister is very strong and very focused, and he's directing this war. His war cabinet is directing this thing from the outset. He actually, as you know, Alex, he thrives under pressure and in crisis, and this crisis has been led by Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he will lead us to victory.
Ophir Falk, Foreign Policy Advisor to the Prime Minister, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex.